Hello everybody, I kind of wanted to do something a little different here today. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today. So this is New World. It is a game I've been playing for a little while now. It's an MMORPG created by Amazon Games. And I kind of figured here today I would do a little bit of a gameplay review, if you will. So, excuse me. It's not a bad game. It definitely was a lot of hype back in the beginning. There's an Exp boost event going on right now. When this first came out, there was definitely a lot of hype to it, and I think it was much bigger of a deal and much bigger of a game than what it is now. As we load up here, you see if I can show you the servers. So I really can't show you the view worlds. There we go. So like most of them, definitely low population. Like there's not many people playing. There are a few that are in the medium. This world is technically full. Character creation temporarily disabled because this world is full. Please try to get in a different world. Oh, I think it's because you're only allowed 2 characters regardless of the worlds, the amount of worlds you're on, and I already have 2 characters. But so there are some that are in the medium range, but most of the server population is low. And I really don't know why, because I mean it is a pretty decent game. There's a few little tidbits that I'll go over as we're playing, and things that I think could be improved upon. Not that my opinion is really gonna change anything, but I figured, you know, maybe you guys could take a look at this and make the decision if you're on the edge about playing this game or not, and what you think about it. So I'll kind of go over the different systems that are in place in the game that I've discovered so far. I mean, I'm obviously not to end game, so I can't go over the events and whatnot that are at the end of the game. But this is just a general gist from being about a quarter of the way. I mean, I'm level 22, a quarter of the way through the game, and just showing you the basics of the beginning, I should say. So here is the map of the game. Now the big thing about this is, like, once you unlock all these fast travel points, it's probably not really that bad, but I mean, you have to, there's no mounts. There's not like a mount system in the game where you have like horses or anything like that. Like if you, the first time you do it, if you want to get from here up to here, you got to walk clear up there. And like you see all these different colors. Well, all these different colors are to the different factions. There's 3 factions in the game, and now most of the time they just refer to them as green, purple, or orange. They really don't go by their names. The names are Mercenaries, Syndicate, and I honestly can't remember, or Marauders, Syndicate, and I can't remember the last one. So there's that thing about it. I just think that this game could honestly, like, at least at this stage, really benefit from a mount system, because even to fast travel, which I hear that late game is not too bad, but you have to get this stuff here. That's this stuff right here. It is called Azoth, and that's what it takes to fast travel. So as far as from that system, like, I mean, it's not too bad. Like, I already have a good bit stored up, and I'm not even doing the events or anything. I mean, I'm just, in general, playing the game. But I think a mount system could definitely be beneficial to this game. The combat system, it's really not that bad. So your basic character leveling up system, like strength, dexterity, intelligence, your attribute points. Weapon mastery, I think this is done in a pretty interesting manner. So as you use a weapon, you gain levels in it, and those levels allow you to buy skill points. So in this character, and you can respec for free up to level 20, and after level 20 you have to use Azoth to respec. But I think this is a very interesting system, and I genuinely do like this part of the system. I think some of the skills could be more useful, because at least in this, like a melee class, they're honestly, like, I find myself just smacking the enemies more than I'm using skills. Trade skills, so as any new MMORPG is, there is a huge trade skill system where as you're doing different things, you gain levels and get access to bigger and better stuff. So like logging, for instance, you start off just hitting young trees, and then as you level up, you can get mature trees, and each one of these different, each one of these different trees adds to a different kind of material that you can use, a better material, if you will, that you can use to increase your crafting. Mining, so gathering iron, you can start tracking at the iron at level 25. So like it's not going to start showing up on your mini map or your little crossbar up there at the top until you get to level 25. Silver, oil. So as you hit progression levels, you unlock different stuff that you can do. That goes for all of these different stuff. So the trade skill system, I find it not terrible. I find the leveling pretty easy, at least up until you get into these points here. I have been told that as you're getting up to like ironwood, which is gatherable at 175, it takes a long time to get to 175. Like when you get to 170, it takes a while to get yourself up the rest of the way. Just running around all these little notes that you can collect. So there's a bunch of collectibles in the game, and like you can run around and collect provision crates to get different stuff for your cooking, and there's just a bunch of different chests to collect. One of the major, I think, downfalls for me, to be honest, is just the fact of no mounts. Like that is a huge deal for me. And just in general, the fact that like there's a lot of grinding, and I mean in most MMOs there is a lot of grinding, but let me give you an example here. For instance, if we run over here and say I'm level 20, so my next step up should be this steel stuff, right? Well, the thing is, to get the steel stuff, I have to just sit here and craft and craft and craft the iron stuff to get both my armoring skill and my weaponsmithing skill up high enough that I can get to level 50 of each of those. So 27, 36, I need to get to level 50 of each of those just to start crafting the steel stuff. I really feel that that system could be redone. And I'm not saying make it super simple, but like I need to go get all this iron ore, smelt all that down, then I need to run over, craft the iron gear that I need, and then I need to go get more iron ore just to get iron ingot and get sand flux and charcoal, which you can craft here, just to get steel ingots to craft my steel stuff. So like by the time you're done piling resources upon resources in order to get the iron stuff, or in order to get your levels up high enough to craft the steel stuff, you're just gonna have to go gather more upon more resources to get the steel stuff. And I get it, they can't just make it like fall into your lap, but I just feel that it's very, very grindy. That's one of the other skills. Skinning and harvesting are a skill. I think those two are separate. So that's what was smelting. So harvesting and tracking and skinning. So harvesting plants to make potions, and then tracking and skinning is to get leather and to craft pretty much everything. Like everything pretty much takes leather to craft. One of the things that I've been doing a lot of is running faction quests. Faction quests are a great source of EXP, and just in general a great source of gear. So like as you do faction quests, faction quests, you get these tokens, and those tokens allow you to you can spend those plus gold to get faction armor and weapons, and it's a really big boost right off the bat to what you need. Like this great axe that I got here that is the gladiator set to the Marauder Marauder faction, because I'm in the green. And I mean, in general, like it is a really fun game, and I think that like redoing some of the systems could really help it be even more fun. Like just redoing gold, for instance. Gold, at least I have not found a great way to farm up gold. Like you get a little bit for doing those faction quests, and I mean, I have 965, but like I need 10,000 to buy a house. And I mean, I could probably do it in a couple days, or, you know, sit down and really try to farm out the gold, but it takes time to get these things. And like I said, I'm not expecting them to hand anything to me. I just think there is things they could do to make it easier. Just easier to get what you need, at least in the beginning. I mean, the beginning stages of a game, getting to the end game, like, that's what it's all about. And, like, I really feel that they could make the beginning stages a little bit easier. Like, of course, I don't want you to get to end game immediately, because you want a little bit of a build-up to that, but I just feel they could hold your hand a little bit in the beginning, to be honest. I mean, we're not talking like a Souls-like game here. We're not like, they should get you at least to a point where you could be self-sufficient. And I find that this doesn't, and it just takes some time to get things done, to get gold, to get your first house, to, I mean, it is nice that they make the first house you buy half off. So like that's helpful. But I just really feel that they could do a little bit. I totally missed that shot. A little bit to help you out. So archery is pretty neat. I enjoy archery. I think they've done a very neat job with it, and like the skill system and whatnot. And they just recently did a change to that, which I think is for the best. So these no longer carry a weight, which is really nice, and they stack up to 1,000, which is also really, really nice. But yeah, I mean, just in general, I think those are a couple quality of life improvements that could be made. Just a better way to get gold. And like I said, I can't speak towards the end game dungeons and what you exactly get. But as far as the beginning of the game, like, a way to make gold would be nice. A decent way to make gold would be nice. And mounts, man. Like, every other MMORPG out there has mounts, and I don't know if that's why they're straying away from it and they don't want to do it. But like a faster way to travel besides just walking everywhere, because this is max speed, like the way I'm walking right now. And so far right now, like, if you want to go up in here, you gotta walk there. You want to go down here, you gotta walk there. Like, here's a fast travel point to get you down to this corner, which I guess isn't terrible. There's a fast travel point. Here's one. But I mean, even just from here to up here, like, that's probably about 5-10 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things. I get that, but until you realize that you're going from here, grabbing faction quests, going to here, going down into here, going down over to here, going back here, going over here, going down it, like, you're constantly doing that, and it eats up a lot of time. And trying to make quick runs out of faction quests to gain resources it's not simple. I mean, it definitely takes some time. So that's a thing. Like, just, I think they really need to think about developing a mount system. If that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Gold mount systems. And like this, I really can't complain about the leveling on the trade skills too much, just because, I mean, they're genuinely pretty quick. Like, here, we'll see. So that's 1, 2. See how many trees it takes me. Young trees at that, like, they're not even mature trees, which is what I should be chopping down right about now if I was doing it for EXP. So there's 3. So here we're gonna do a mature tree. See how many it takes me to get there. Boom. So there's 3 young trees and a mature tree. We'll do another mature tree. It should really only take like 6 or 7 trees in total to get me to my next level. Like the leveling up system really isn't that bad. And I have noticed that depending upon the thickness of the tree and the amount of time it takes you to chop it down, they do change. The XP levels do change. So there we go. We're at like, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what? 6 or 7 trees to gain a new level, because I should get the level after this tree. Yeah. So like the trade skills, they're really not that difficult to get there until, like I've said, I've been told that once you get to the upper levels, the upper echelon of like 160, 170s, then it starts to become difficult. But the beginning, I mean, it goes pretty quick. So that is nice, and that's one, I guess, little helping hand you have. But just the daily grind of grabbing the iron and whatnot, and then like, that's another reason we're back to the mounts. I mean, if you'd have mounts and you would be able to see, I unlocked the medium prayer cannot be tracked. If you were able to have mounts and you were able to run around to all your different resource grabs, and because like, here, I'll show you on the map, we don't want to actually walk it, but if you start here, so like there's iron ore right here, and then you can make a run all the way along here for iron ore. And if you honestly could hop on and off a horse, and that's just a short run. I mean, I know for a fact there's longer, like they call them resource runs, and it's just someone has plotted out like a walk this path and grab, you could grab X amount of this item, X amount of this item, X amount of this item. And if you had a mount to do that, you could speed up those resource grabs so quickly. And it would be so nice to be able to just run those quick, get your resources, get back to town. And like, I don't want to have to fast travel everywhere. I do want to experience, I mean, this game is beautiful. And I think from a mount perspective, you'd get to see a lot more of the game because you'd spend less time fast traveling. I do, like, the fast traveling is nice, and don't get me wrong, but I want to experience the game and the beautiful artwork that they've created, and I think just having a mount and being able to walk around quicker, that'd be nice. Because, like, I could, if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to fast travel here. I could just jaunt over there real quick and get right to my faction quests, or whatever I'm doing over in that area. Like, right now, here's one of the main quests. I gotta run clear down here and go here. Like, I can fast travel here, but that's still it looks short on the map, but that's a long jaunt when it comes down to it. And the fact that there's probably going to be a crap ton of enemies right here I'm going to have to face just to walk through this area to get to here. So, like, the time it takes to get places is definitely difficult. So, I mean, for anybody that's looking to get in this game, it's a wonderful game. And do I think you should give it a shot? I definitely think you should give it a shot. Just know coming onto it that things might be a little difficult, as far as it might be different than any other MMO that you've played, in the fact that you don't have mounts and you can't just get to places quickly. Like, it takes time to walk places, and it takes time to gather resources, and if you're a person that loves to just, you know, grind it out, like, excellent game for you, because there is a lot of just daily grinding and grabbing resources and doing faction quests and everything like that. Like, as far as leveling goes, hunting monsters, like taking down monsters, is not a really good way to level in this game. Most of it should be done through simply doing quests, and then in the middle of doing quests, work on this stuff. Because this stuff really, like, trade skills help you level a lot. Like, on this character, I got from, I think it was like 15 to 19 just off trade skilling and like gathering resources and heading back and smelting and making things. Like, it's definitely a thing. Like, trade skilling can level you up, unlike most games. Like, it definitely gives you a good bit. So they do help you in that regards, I suppose. Like, trade scaling does actually equate to character EXP. So it's a really big balancing act on what you're doing at a time. Like if you're doing faction quests, or if you're doing in general leveling. But I mean, it's definitely like, do I think the game is worth a shot? I for sure think the game is worth a shot. Like, it's a pretty awesome game, and like I've never had issues with the servers so far with what I've been doing. Like everything has went through pretty well, and I mean they're still constantly updating it, so it's not like this is the end state of the game. Like they just added a brand new big event. I know that. I mean, I haven't been able to play it because I'm not up at the level cap at 60, but they just added a big brand new event, and they just added blunderbusses into the game. So like it's definitely not the end state of the game. And I think that's good to see, because I think there is improvements that could be made. And I know for a fact that there are some glitches that some people are experiencing. It's nothing really game breaking, but I really, yeah, I mean, I think that it's definitely could use a little bit of work, but overall it's not a terrible game. And I think if you're on the edge of giving New World a shot, then I would go for it. I would definitely give New World a shot. Well, that's what I had here for today, guys. If you have any comments on New World and what you think of the state of the game so far, let me know in the comments down below, and hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you very much.